Trump has given an ultimatum to Hamas and to the people of Gaza that this Saturday at 12 p.m. they have to let every single hostage go.
Well, I would say this, and I'm going to let that because that's Israel's decision, but as far as I'm concerned, if all of the hostages aren't returned by Saturday at 12 o'clock, I think it's an appropriate time. I would say cancel it and all bets are off. All of them, not in drips and drabs, not 2 and 1 and 3 and 4 and 2.
This is in such stark contrast to the previous administration that held Netanyahu and Israel in such disdain. All those people who remember that last time when Netanyahu was in Washington, the president and the vice president, Kamala Harris, who at that time was running to be president, didn't even have the decency to meet their allies, Netanyahu, when he came into town.
She hates Israel. She wouldn't even meet with Netanyahu when he went to Congress to make a very important speech. She refused to be there.
Now, the question is, what is going to happen on Saturday? The whole world is waiting with their breath held, and nobody really knows because Trump was cryptic and Israel is being quiet, and they're doing this on purpose. They don't want to show all their cards. They don't want to show what they're going to do. They don't want the enemy to know the next move. So Netanyahu has been very quiet this whole time. My personal opinion, what is going to happen is that Israel is not going to have an easy time. You have to understand, Hamas is not out there just giving away their greatest prize. The greatest prize that they have, the greatest bargaining chip that they have is these hostages. And unfortunately, they put their own people in harm's way. They don't care about endangering their own citizens when it comes to war, where Israel does everything to prevent every casualty possible, not only on the Jewish side, but also on the Arab side. Hamas doesn't have the same moral compass that Israel has. So they want, in a certain sense, they want this to happen. They want the sympathy of the world. When bad stuff is happening in Gaza and you have all those images and all those videos that are coming out, that is what they want. They want to show destruction. They want to show their own people being ravaged. When that happens, they're able to gain sympathy. And that's part of their whole tactic. What do they think was going to happen after October 7th? What do they think was going to be the next logical move of Israel to do? I saw a great interview recently of, I think it was Douglas Murray, who was saying, what was Israel's next logical move after October 7th? What did you expect them to do? Did you expect them to take it lying down? Did you expect them to not have to, do anything and just accept what had just happened in the name of resistance? I'm interrupting this video for 15 seconds to tell you about my business, which is called Wealthy Recruiting. We recruit everything from operations people to business development people. If you are looking for great people to work in your business, please go to berylsolomon.com and reach out to us. We would love to hear from you. Hamas knew what was going to happen after October 7th. They knew that they were going to turn the world against them. But a new tide has shifted. A new song is being sung in the White House, whereas the previous administration was completely against Israel. Listen to what the Prime Minister of Israel has to say, his message directly towards Donald Trump.
Thank you, President Trump, for keeping your promise to give Israel the tools it needs to defend itself, to confront our common enemies, and to secure a future of peace and prosperity.
Now, you might be asking yourself, why does the United States support Israel to such an extent? And for that matter, why does Israel support the United States to such an extent? You have to understand that the Middle East is a very dangerous place. It's a precarious place. The Middle East was where 9/11 was hatched. That's where the whole idea of 9/11 came about. There is an ocean separating the Middle East from America, but they call Israel the small devil and they call Israel the big devil. Their enemy is the same enemy. The Arab world has a vendetta. Not all Arab countries, of course, because there's ones that have peace with the United States, but most of the Arab world has a vendetta against the United States. They need Israel as a strong front in that region to help make sure that there's peace in that region. Israel is concerned about peace. They want peace. They love peace. They want to live in peace. They want to live harmoniously with their neighbors. The proof of that is that they've given so many concessions and they've offered a Palestinian state so many times that the Palestinians have rejected. They want peace in the region. And by the way, the United States also wants peace in the region. Many times the U.S. is painted as this warmonger. It's not true. It's not the case. The United States wants peace. It's a peaceful country. Its founders were peaceful. Its people are peaceful, and it wants peace. But in certain cases, in certain instances, with certain nations, there's only one way to achieve peace, and that is peace through strength. That's the only language that part of the world understands. And for that reason, the United States supports Israel. Not because they're nice people, and not because they're best pals and best buddies, but because the United States understands that it needs Israel in order to achieve peace and security in that region. Israel is the first line of defense between the United States and the entire Middle East, and they need that piece of land, which is another reason why Israel is in talks right now with President Trump that the United States should take over Gaza. Why? Because Gaza is a strategic stronghold for the United States to have a place in the Middle East where it's not in a foreign country like Afghanistan or Iraq, where they're hostile towards the United States, where they can actually be there and they can build infrastructure there without constantly having to be at war with their neighbors. And that's a big reason why President Trump wants a peace in the Middle East where he could call his own, where he could do what he needs to do in order to have a stronghold in that region in case, God forbid, anything happens. And that is why the United States has been behind Israel in such a strong, supportive way, because the relationship is completely symbiotic. So back to our original question, what is going to happen at 12 o'clock on Saturday? Only God knows, and we're hoping for the best. We're hoping that Hamas does the right thing. We're hoping that they return all the hostages. We're hoping that they show a sign of good faith. We're hoping that they show a gesture that shows that these people just might be human. And we're hoping that the hostages come home alive. But as President Trump said, if they don't, all bets are off. And I hope that the Israeli government and I hope that the people of Israel are strong enough to rise to the occasion to make sure that their country is safe no matter what. Because at the end of the day, the Jewish people were given the land of Israel by God. They have one land, one people, one nation, one army to protect them. We've seen what happens when the Jews are dispersed in all other parts of the world with no other army to protect them. Israel needs to exist. The Jewish people need their own land, and they need and deserve to live in peace. If you enjoyed this video, please leave me a like, please leave me a comment, please follow and subscribe to my channel. I bring you cutting edge news from the Jewish perspective almost every single day. I would love to spend more time with you.